Hey, what is happening, folks? Kaiser Pineapple. So here we are. Finally, I've probably teased it on Legal Vices channel several times now, but yeah, here we are. So yeah, here I am. This is me in the flesh, I guess you could say. so yeah, for anyone just filing in, I just want to make sure I kind of get started with a little bit of a record of the channel and everything. Getting started, I say we're live. This is new. I'm not even sure what to do here, but hey, we're gonna give this a shot and see what happens. I say kind of just watch and let things happen as folks file in. So yeah, you might be wondering, who the hell is this guy? So yeah, hi, I'm Kaiser Pineapple. Um, so we're just kind of sitting here. We're doing just kind of like some regular chat stuff and some current events, things around the internet, things of that nature right now. We'll see how things progress. What happens? I say I'm kind of just open to starting things and seeing which direction the channel takes. I've always been wanting to do streaming, wanted to try this kind of do something new. And, it was one of those where I sat around for the longest time, just sitting there telling myself time and time and time again, like, well, sounds like fun. I've got a setup, but I mean, who's going to watch? Why, well, what am I going to talk about? What is, what am I, do I need to do to even make this happen? So, Uh, for those of you who also watch Nick Recada's channel, Law Pope Rackets, praise be unto him. So, in a recent stream, he was just sitting around talking, and he mentioned that when it came to streaming, there were three rules. Rule number one, you got to show up. Doesn't matter if you've got 0 viewers or, over 1,000 or more, something like Nick's channel pulling 25K, a stream, something like that. Two, I mean, you got to be there for your chat. You got to be there for everybody else. You can't sit there and use this just to, just to beg for, super chats or anything like that. I fully embrace that. I mean, I want to be here. I want to entertain. I want to have fun, and I want to talk to people, and I want to meet fun new folks. And Nick's third rule was, when everything's said and done, you gotta build things up. You gotta do something. You just gotta keep coming back, really. I could be paraphrasing some of those rules, and yes, I'm probably going to get corrected hard by some of you out there, but that was kind of the three that what came to my head and just kind of right now just set me up. I've been watching Legal Vices channel for quite a while now, and some of the other folks out there in LawTube, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of seeing them all kind of start up pretty well out of nowhere, and just decided, what the hell, I'm going to show up. I'm going to try this. We're gonna do something. So that's what we're doing tonight. I'm looking forward to folks filing in, and we can just have a good time. I don't particularly plan to do like a long stream tonight, but just kind of something to kind of dip our toes in, wet the whistle, so to speak, and see how things progress from there. So let me do a quick check here. I want to make sure we've got good audio because I just realized I've been yakking this entire time and don't think I ever bothered to do an honest to goodness mic check. So let me make sure that I don't boomer this thing. Let's see. Give me just a moment. And okay, looks like we do have audio, so it looks like we are good. I'm Went ahead and pulled up my other screen. I'm running on a bit of a delay, but yeah, it serves its purpose to let folks know. All right. So, with that all being said and done, so in honor of the inaugural stream, you know, the first steps toward whatever the hell this ends up becoming, we're going to go ahead and pour one out. Tonight we're drinking some Town Branch single malt. This is actually my folks got this on their most recent trip down to Kentucky, and they always like to bring back little souvenirs for us and whatnot. So, in honor of new beginnings, new things, cheers. All right. So let's kind of just get into it, really, and we'll see how things go. So I guess you want to know a little background on me. So I currently do insurance, stuff like that, claims. I handle all the stuff when people actually want to, or when people have stuff happen, I'm the guy they call. I kind of work in a little bit of a unique niche of the industry. I'm not going to say for who or really get into the brass tacks of that, but it's pretty fun. It's a good gig. It's definitely been a career change. I used to do customer service work. I worked in call centers for almost 7 years, and I have the therapy bills to prove it. Okay, yeah, just it's fine. I'm okay. Yeah, the alcohol helps most of the time, and yeah, so did that job for a long time. About 7 years. Uh, Finally, just kind of fell out of it, as kind of had one of those little come to Jesus meetings, and realized that it just wasn't working out for me. So found this gig through a mutual friend who knew that the person who was doing it at the time was retiring, and they'd train me up. So I now run the claims department for all 50 states in a particular niche area of insurance industry for a particular company that will go unnamed. So, yay. Uh, it's it's a weird situation, but anyway, before all that, and of course, also just kind of a little further background. So I'm a resident here of good old Indiana, the Hoosier State. No, I don't particularly have a side, whether I choose IU or Purdue. I'm not particularly a super sports guy. Yeah, just kind of have my thing there. It's just was when you're in high school and you get beat up a lot, you kind of develop a little bit of a aversion to most sports or something like that, maybe. But yeah, after that, I went to college, went to Chicago, lived there for 3 years, got my degrees. Let's just say that to anybody that lives up there in Chicago, my condolences, especially with what's coming down the pipe in January. Y'all might want to stock up on some supplies. But also, I lived up there for 3 years in downtown Chicago doing my education. So I decided to go on an accelerated degree program. I got my bachelor's of applied science degree in graphic arts, graphic design, that kind of thing in 2008. I also got an associate's degree at the same time it was graphic arts. So I went on a dual degree program, Did it in 3 years. Should have taken 6. So kind of crunched my way through just because I wanted to get the hell out of Chicago. Don't get me wrong. It seems like a pretty place. A lot of cool stuff to see, but I kind of like being alive. I just realized I coughed right into the mic. Oh my God. Not even, 12 minutes into the stream, not even 15 minutes in, and I've already committed a huge faux pas by coughing straight down the barrel of the microphone. My bad, guys. So, yeah. Yeah, that was kind of about the time that I got out of all that, started doing various jobs, got into customer service, did some more manual labor kind of stuff. And then, yeah, ended up where I'm at now. So, yeah, is what it is, I guess. In spare time, I do a lot of just modeling, building models, that kind of thing. I've got all my tools and supplies back there. You can probably see my compressor right about yay, and then some of my various models, and I'm still getting used to having a mirrored or a non-mirrored camera. So stuff like that up there. And yeah, then down here, if I can get my finger to work in the right direction. There we go. Yeah, I got a lot of movies. I'm a bit of a movie buff. Some of my education during college was film school, that kind of thing. I ended up doing a lot of work in film, in the latter part of my bachelor's degree program. Actually did some short, very no more than college level voiceover work, for some little short films and whatnot up there. I did get the privilege to kind of sneak onto a couple of movie sets while they were being filmed. Specifically 2008's Wanted and The Dark Knight. I actually managed to kind of know a little bit about those, and I was actually kind of I wasn't on set. I wasn't any kind of thing, anything credited or anything like that. I was more of just I lived in the neighborhood or lived in the area, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to go stand outside of that. So more of a lurker than anything else. But I do have some fun stuff that came up from that. Then kind of segueing into my skill set with graphic design and whatnot, I went into this stream with the idea I was going to sit and talk and do just kind of whatever chat came up. But strangely enough, something happened last night that I was extremely surprised, or actually this morning, that I didn't know was happening, and I was extremely surprised about. I'm going to apologize. I'm fighting a bit of a chest cold. It's been going around. So if I sound like I smoke 3 packs of Marlboros a day, promise I don't. I'm a pipe guy, as illustrated by this guy. Yeah, this pipe actually, it kind of looks funny. It's supposed to be like a buffalo head, something like that. This is a very old pipe. My grandfather actually got this overseas whenever he was in the army. Sometime in the 50s, he had some leave time, went to Italy, and that's where he picked that thing up. And I've kind of had it ever since. This one I don't particularly smoke. Just I need to get it worked on. There's a crack in the side, but my other pipes and everything, I usually smoke those. But obviously, I don't have a great ventilation system in here, so I don't smoke indoors. Also, for those of you who have spouses and whatnot, your wife, might have something to say about that. Mine would probably skin me alive. Literally. Anyway. But yeah, like I said, segueing into a story that I kind of didn't expect to be a thing, um, actually ended up being a thing. It was pretty fascinating. So I've been also a home brewer for beer for about the last 10 years. And I kind of got out of it during the pandemic. I really need to get back into it. But I've done some work, and I was a member of a uh, homebrew club here in Indiana called Indie Brewers Union, or IBU, for those of you who actually get the reference there. That's, you know, kind of a little bit of inside joke there. And yeah, so Indiana Brewers Union took off. We really enjoyed putting it together, and one of the guys in the group, he knew that I did graphic design work, that kind of thing, and he approached me. He said, "Hey, I need something done for this event that we're wanting to put on." And I said, "Sure, I'll take a look." And sure enough, we ended up collaborating. We did a little bit of work, and I created a logo. And actually, just today, I got to see my logo that I designed on TV, and I had no idea this was coming. So, um, huge shout out to my buddy Joe. He is a bro in every sense. He is awesome, and he has been spearheading this awesome charity called Indie Brew Battle for about 4 years. This will be our fourth annual event for this, and it's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, why don't we do one better, and not only about is like do let's see, not only do we have the information on that and whatnot, I can kind of show you what my logo is, but also, we can actually, I know I'm probably going to get dinged right off the get go, but hopefully not. I'm just going to try this. But yeah, say, do a little showing off of my work as well as a really cool event and organization. So yeah, just kind of see how that goes. All right, we're going to go ahead and select this. Sorry, I am still getting used to this. This is all very new to me. This is actually my first time using this. So I do not entirely know how this goes. Okay, here we go. So yeah, here is up here is my logo that I designed for Indie Brew Battle. And yeah, there's Joe. And let's give it a little bit of a listen there. So yeah, we're gonna go. And yeah, I'm gonna pause real quick here because I got to break it up and make sure everything's kind of easy to go on. But yeah, so Indie Brew Battle is a fantastic event, and they'll kind of get into like what are the prizes, like what is so nice about this event, and how great HVAF is. But to say that it's kind of a starstruck moment to see my work actually featured on TV, for that logo. I mean, and just to see all the hard work that Joe has put himself into to make this happen. It's very cool. And I wish that I could make it to Indie Brew Battle on it's next Saturday. I wish I could make it, but unfortunately, I do have a prior commitment that I've got to look into there. But yeah, we'll listen to a little bit more. Really cool seeing some of my old buddies and everything like that on here too. Okay, we're gonna take a little pause on that and say, but yeah, little history on IBU because we kind of just we were a once a month Thursday crew that just kind of always got together and hang out at our favorite homebrew shop, and unfortunately, the place is not there anymore. But we always like to get together and swap, beer ideas and stories, and kind of talk about what we're doing, and just sample each other's wares. And we just thought, what the hey, why don't we just create a homebrew club? And then creating a homebrew club kind of spiraled into this, and just to kind of jump in front of a train, so to speak. There, yeah, you'll notice that I'm not in any of those pictures because right about the time the pandemic hit, some things happened in my area, my life that kind of prevented me from going and being a part of it. I'm trying to get back in, so kind of working on things as they are. But this was just something. This happened literally this morning. This was not in the plan, and it was just kind of something fun that came up. Uh, oh, did I totally boomer it? Yep, I did. I completely boomered the audio. So y'all been watching this, and there hasn't been any audio. Uh, wow. You know, first stream jitters, I guess. Okay. We're gonna, because yeah, I can hear the audio, but yeah, where's Digger? There you are. Hey, welcome to the show. Yeah, it's kind of a yeah, it's kind of a thing. So we're just kind of working through it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Let's see. Yep, there we are. Hey guys, are no worries. Everyone boomers sometimes. Yeah, yeah, and I'm definitely no yeah. It's just kind of what it is. Excuse me. So yeah, we're gonna try and figure out the audio. Yeah, I guess I'll do that another. Um, whoops. Okay. I'm just gonna, yeah, just gonna go ahead and kill that. So yeah, it's uh it's a cool organization and a cool little thing that we have been kind of putting on over the years. Very awesome, but it was just very surprising and mm, definitely scary to see some of my own work actually being featured on this. So, um, yeah, that was, just kind of a fun little thing that happened purely by random chance that happened this morning. It actually gave me something to talk about because otherwise I was just going to sit here and jabber to the camera. And my God, we're already at 27 minutes. How the hell did I do that? Oh boy. Yeah, this chest cold is definitely no fun, but yeah, we're gonna power through it because whiskey is a great expectorant. Yeah. All right. So anyone just randomly filing in or whatnot to say, I guess got any questions? Anything you want to throw out there? Kind of an ask me anything. We're in uncharted territory at this point, so we'll kind of just see where this goes. Hmm. Let's see. If anything pops up on there, I'll see what happens. But yeah. All right. Where? Okay. Let's see. Oh, we got one from Digger. Hey, where do you like to hang chat wise? I've seen you in a couple places. So, um, yeah, I mostly just kind of whatever's on during. Oh, hey, Valhalla's here. Hey, what's going on there, Valhalla? Fantastic. But anyway, yep. Hey, Valhalla, what's up? But yeah, as far as like places I like to hang is in everything, just like to more or less just go chill and I like to listen to rackets and whatnot, but usually he's on whenever I'm asleep or something like that because I have to use regular working job hours. And otherwise, I hang out, of course, in Vice's chat. I watch Farron a lot. The Friday paranormal streams are kind of what I live for. It's I am making it my life's goal at this point to eventually get on to one of the paranormal streams because I am a big aviation nut. And I have got some aviation mysteries that I would love to throw at Jeff and Farron and just kind of like curl their socks where it concerns, just air travel mysteries and famous planes, weird experiences, things have happened. Let's see. Let's see. Nick is too late for me too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Insomnia has some advantages. Yeah, for I used to be a night owl. I used to be one of those people that I used to work second shift long time ago. Um and so I would get up 2:30 in the afternoon, work till midnight, go to my other job at midnight, work there until 7 a.m. and then go home, go to sleep and repeat the process. That was in my 20s and not going to say the years have taken their toll, but The years have taken their toll. Let's be real. Alcohol helps. Digger. Yeah, me too. I love conspiracies and the paranormal. I love it. Those are my jam. And yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to just kind of, contribute to that and whatnot, just throw stuff out there. And I really look forward to, again, like I said, making it my life's goal to get on there at some point and just have some fun, making folks go, what? Yeah, I've been privy to some weird shit in my life. There was actually a short time in my life where I did paranormal investigations as a hobby, and I got out of it for a reason. And yeah, it's kind of why today I'm so skittish about anyone who says that they want to, oh, I want to go paranormal investigating. I want to go see ghosts. I want to do this. No, you don't. You really freaking don't. So stop. You're inviting shit in. Quit it. Oh, man. Let's see. I had some buddies that would go ghost hunting years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you do that, you see some stuff, and then might change your mind a little bit on what you want to do and how much of that you want to see. They had one particular experience I will probably divulge at some point that let's just say it changed my entire perspective on the paranormal. It flipped my turn world upside down, as they say, and scared the living pea water out of me as well. It was not a good time. Let's see. Do you watch Maka Electric? He does the Jericho Report. He's into real conspiracies, i.e., politics, tech, etc. I am not aware of that one, but I am definitely going to have to check that one out now because I always do enjoy a good mystery. Folks always kind of, typically look at folks who enjoy the paranormal and stuff like that as kind of kooky, crazy. Ooh, look at this guy. But yeah, I like mysteries. I like things that are unexplained and just kind of odd. And I kind of want to go, what's to that? What's going on there? See if there's anything I can figure out on it and just kind of dig in. It's a hobby. So, let's see. So, all right. Get it, bro. Trust me. That's why I'm here. Trying. So, yeah, I think trying to think of kind of, I guess, a good fun little anecdote or something like that of some weird stuff I've seen in the past. Because so, let's see. I'm more into true crime than paranormal, but conspiracies all day. Yes, true crime is amazing. I love the true crime genre. Just because you see stuff and you just kind of look at it and go, is there something here? I always enjoy that. Yeah, Valhalla Waits. Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. So, true crime is a very special genre in and of itself. And I like mysteries and I like, especially with paranormal stuff as well. I like things that are at least have a kernel of believability to them. I remember distinctly years ago, this was probably about 2005. My family and I, we were doing a road trip across the Southwest, and just kind of watching as we were driving through the middle of the desert, the middle of nowhere, and there's not a light or a soul for dozens, if not probably 100 or so miles in every direction. And I remember that, my dad wanted to roll the windows down because it was cool that night, and save a little bit of gas to get us further along, get us on our way, because we were driving through New Mexico. And like I said, we're in the middle of BF nowhere, nothing for miles. And I remember just looking up, and I saw the stars. And I'm telling y'all, if you've never gone out to the middle of BF nowhere, the middle of these sticks, no lights or anything for miles, and look up at the sky, you kind of start to look at it and go, every single one of those points of light, every star I see in the sky is a star like our sun. And any one of those can potentially hold life. Because if we're the only game in town, that makes existence pretty freaking boring. But it also, you look up there and you go, you wonder what's out there. Mahalo, it's a different experience. Yes, 100%. It is a different experience. I put that up there in probably the top 10 most influential and developmental moments of my life, because that moment really just it changes, it changes your whole perspective. And it totally becomes something different, because at that point you're looking up at the sky, you're seeing everything, and you're just like, yeah, every single one of those could be another solar system. Okay. Statistical odds and the Drake equation and all that aside, there's a possibility something's out there. Let's see. The outdoors are my favorite. I wish that I could get outdoors more often. Unfortunately, I kind of married a homebody. Don't get me wrong, I love my wife to pieces, but yeah, she is not much for the camping life. She used to do that a lot whenever she was younger or whatnot with her folks, and I think she kind of got her fill and she was kind of done with it. So I'm trying to crack that nut very slowly, trying to make sure that I can get to a point where we can probably go out and do stuff like that again. But also, I got a little bit of COVID punch to lose, so I might need rackets to fat shame me at some point here, but I'm not in exactly the position to do it at the moment. But yeah, I love being outdoors. I used to live out in the country. My folks have 10 acres on what used to be a Christmas tree farm, like in the 50s or something like that. The trees are now like 60 foot tall or more, out in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, that's how I grew up, just self-sustaining and hanging out. Don't we all? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I kind of just had that more rural life growing up. And then, my wife was always more of a suburbanite. And so, well, guess which one of those won whenever, marriage happened. Yep. Suburbs. But, we're managing. We got 11 and a half acres outside of Knoxville. I spend most of the day walking my goats around. That sounds fantastic, to be completely honest. One, my wife loves goats and would love to have goats or a donkey. She's kind of into that, I blame TikTok, but I don't watch any of that crap. I'm like, no. But Knoxville, Tennessee, actually, funny story. The only time I've ever been traveling and I got a little nervous about the neighborhood I was in Knoxville, Tennessee. And that's a completely just unrelated, just goofy story. I'd love that. I have two donkeys. Yeah. They are actually remarkably smart, and they're great animals, especially if you have smaller animals. They keep the coyotes away. And yes, I am Midwestern enough to still say coyotes instead of coyotes. But yeah, I like I said, I grew up in here in Indiana and whatnot, and I down in the south central area. I won't get into specifics on that, but let's just say that my best friend that lived across the street from me on more than one occasion drove his tractor to school. Just, saying it's my happy place. I don't doubt, because that sounds heavenly. But anyway, yeah, the Knoxville story. So this was well over probably 10, 15 years ago. God, when was that? Yeah, that would have been probably about 2008. Yeah, so it's been a while. And I was driving through main drag Knoxville. I was on my way to Charlotte, North Carolina for 2 weeks of job training. And I had a stopover. I just stopped for the night down there in Knoxville. And I at the time was like looking for like comic books, manga, stuff like that to read, because it was just, it was my jam at the time. And I really wanted to go find a place to just see, what was there. I could not find hardly any bookshop or store or anything like that that was not like some Christian bookshop. And anytime that I asked, like, if anybody had like comic books, manga, anything like that, I got the weirdest looks from people. And I literally at one point had a guy look at me like, yo, I'm from around here, are you? I'm like, nope, definitely not. I'll see you later. Bye. And just went back to my hotel room for the rest of the night. So usually when I drive through Knoxville, I kind of fly low and, fast. But I have, now in my later years, I kind of have leveled out a bit, and I'm like, that sounds like a lovely place. If only I could get my wife to move further south. But all of our relatives are here in Indiana for now. Woo-hoo! Yep, ice cubes melted on that one. That was a little bit stronger. But yeah, I might have mentioned it earlier. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. So tonight we're having a little bit of Town Branch single malt. This is 7-year whiskey that my folks picked this up at the distillery down there in Lexington. Good stuff. And say it's definitely a nice little tame sipper. We moved from Northern Illinois like 6 years ago. Well, Hollowaites, I think we might have traveled in some similar circles, because interestingly enough, I mean, even though I've lived and grown up in Indiana my entire life, I did live in Chicago like for 3 years while I got my college degrees and everything like that. So I also spent a lot of time in Rockford, because one of my classmates and friends, who I kind of maybe was into, she drove cars over at the Speedway in Rockford. But yeah, I spent a lot of time up there hanging out and that kind of thing. So Yeah, I say where at in Northern Illinois that's not too if that's not gonna you know be too much to ask there. Just curious. I'm trying to kind of figure out when lived in Rockford for like 10 years. Wow, okay. Yeah, so you probably know all about that. Okay. Fantastic. Say yeah, my friend that used to race up there, um she was one like she and her dad were kind of like legacies that used to race up there. So I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to potentially run the risk of doxing anybody, but yeah, if you know anything about the Rockford Speedway up there, then yeah. I'm from DeKalb, went into the Army after school, moved to Rockford 07 to 17. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. All right. So let's see. All right. Here's some true crime. I grew up in Port, and I'm gonna butcher that name. Coquitlam. We'd buy our booze from Piggy's place, the Robert Picton case. Oh wow. I guarantee I have had hookers in me. We all ate at Picton Pork too. Oh, one of them cases, huh? That's oh boy. That's something. uh no, Jesus, that place is wild for what I understand. Yeah, a little bit. Oh my, I would love to do the research on that one, kind of figure out what that is. Yep, it was an interesting to find that out. Ugh. What's the terminology for that? They when they accidentally throw a little bit of they threw all these wild parties at his pig farm. Hell's Angels hooks a lot of meth. My stepmom used to party there too. Oh boy, what's that word for when they've said in the past, like you might have gotten a little bit of human ground up in your ground pork and not known about it. They call that long pig, I think, or something like that. Don't ask how I know that. I travel in weird circles. Um, yeah, actually, I live pretty close to, and my wife actually, believe it or not, grew up less than a mile from a famous true crime mystery, Fox Hollow Farms, the Herbert Baumeister case. If you ever get a chance to look that one up, so let's when we're just sitting here yakking about, so let's look up Fox Hollow Farms. Fox Hollow Farms murders. A little accidental cannibalism never hurt anybody. Yeah, that's what they say, but yeah, I'm better off just not knowing what's in it. Scariest bit is they've been doing it for generations. The brother Dave is the real danger. Robert's touched in the head. Yeah, okay. Given what you've been saying so far, I can kind of believe that actually. All right. I'm a ginger. I'm already on. Stage still out. Okay. Yeah, yeah, boy. The Yippers never changed. Sounds like an interesting bunch there. So let me go ahead and flash over here and share this screen. So here we go. So this is actually Fox Hollow Farms. This is the serial killer that was present in our neck of the woods a long time ago. I say this was back in the late 80s, early 90s. This is Herb Baumeister. So the I guess you could say the run of the story is that so Baumeister, and I'm just recalling this from memory. I haven't read this article specifically, but again, growing up and whatnot, and then my wife being lit. I mean, she lived less than a mile from where this all took place. Pretty crazy. But so back in the late 80s, early 90s, Herb Baumeister was a guy who, sorry, damn guys, I gotta go. I've read about that Fox Hollow Farms, though. Very interesting. Well, it is. See you at F It Friday. Bye, Digger. Good night. Yeah, hey, see you tomorrow at Fuck It Friday with Vices. I'm looking forward to it. I say we'll kind of see how things pan out there. If I can talk my boss into letting me, do it and whatnot, and just take off tomorrow or work from home, one of the two, I might be available and just kind of poke the bear a little bit, see if I can convince them, because God knows they're all going to be drunk anyway. Who knows? I might be able to get a channel bump, but I'm not going to cross my fingers on that one. But yeah, Digger, good night. You have a good one. But yeah, so anyway, back to this story here. So yeah, Baumeister owned a massive estate that is up in Westfield, Indiana, and the place is called Fox Hollow Farms. So he owned a chain of like grocery stores in central Indiana and Indianapolis for a number of years, kind of building his little grocery store empire. I don't specifically remember which grocery stores it was that he owned, but I kind of think I may have been in one as a child at some point or another. But so Baumeister basically got famous by luring gay men from different gay bars around central Indiana to go back to his house. And apparently he had a pretty elaborately weird setup around his indoor pool with mannequins and all kinds of crazy stuff, and murdered a lot of guys at his place. And then it was only like in the very late 90s, almost 2000, that he got found out. And let me kind of go through. So Indiana investigators believe Baumeister was responsible for as many as 16 deaths of teenage boys and men who they believe he had picked up from local bars in Indianapolis. Cause of death was thought to be strangulation. Yeah, apparently he was into some stuff, and then of course would bury the bodies on his enormous property, which I've been out that way. I've seen where this is. You cannot see it from the road. It is really hard to see in general, so it's kind of perfect dumping ground, really. But yeah, apparently after the guy was found out and whatnot, he somebody found like a bone on his property, and the police started to close in. And right about the time that investigation started, then they realized he might be a serial killer. He went ahead and, performed self-delete, and he's gone. So they were unable to really do anything with him on that. So the real weird part about Fox Hollow Farms is not just this bizarre serial killer case, but also the fact that purportedly the property is really effing haunted. There was a series called Paranormal Witness on Sci-Fi Channel, and I want to say it was probably either season 1 or season 2 that they did like a full like 1 hour special on Fox Hollow Farms. And it's really bizarre because like all of the stories are pretty wild. I mean, everything that happened there was like just really crazy. And even worse was just all of the paranormal stuff that happened later. Now, put stock in ghosts and paranormal stuff all you want, but it just makes for not only an interesting and chilling mystery, because I don't think they ever officially verified how many he killed. I think they found 16. But yeah, of course he died, and supposedly he still haunts the property. There was a guy, I guess, that got an EVP asking like, who was like on the property or something like that, and said the response they got back was the married one. There was only one person on that whole deal that was married, and that was Herb Baumeister. So it's kind of a fascinating little thing that happened in Indiana lore. I say there's also a pretty famous case in Indiana of what they call the McDonald's murders, or maybe it was the Burger King murders. So I only really found out about this one. It was well before my time. I'm so sorry. Looks like I passed up a chat there. I knew a kid whose dad was a Dahmer victim. Yikes. That's ooh, buddy. Say that's topical. But yikes. I mean, Dahmer's a weird case. I mean, that's especially a messed up one. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen there. Yeah, Dahmer was a weird case, but that was one that, at the risk of sounding really creepy and weird, I wish that he hadn't died in prison, or at least that he had gotten more time, while he was in prison, because we learned so much about the mind of a serial killer from Dahmer that we really had no idea about before. And so, I mean, I really wish that, no pun or bad joke intended, we could have picked his brain a little bit longer and kind of got more information. I think it would have been fascinating to figure all that out. But anyway, as I mentioned, there's like the Burger King murders. Again, I can't remember if it was McDonald's or Burger King, but this happened in like the late 70s here in Indiana. That they were kind of a weird unsolved cold case. You know what? Let's see if we can find Indianapolis Burger King murders. Okay, it was Burger King or Burger Chef. Let's see. I'm just gonna pull up good old Wikipedia here. All right. So the Burger Chef murders. The Burger Chef murders took place at a Burger Chef restaurant in Speedway, Indiana, which is where the 500 is held every year. United States, on the night of Friday, November 17th, 1978, 4 young employees went missing in what was initially thought to be a petty theft of cash from the restaurant safe. By Saturday morning, it became a clear case of robbery, kidnapping, and by Sunday, when their bodies were discovered, a case of murder. While investigators believe that they have identified some or all of the perpetrators, without physical evidence, they have not been able to prosecute those who remain alive. So, Yeah, the Burger Chef murder. Yep, Burger Chef murders. Yep. So funny story, and it's completely by happenstance. So a few years ago, my uncle passed away, and my aunt, who's still around, she's getting up there in years, and she and my grandma, they're both widows, and they decided they wanted to set up a kind of like a um, kind of a meet and greet setup, so for seniors that they could just kind of get together, talk, have a good time, hang out, and whatnot. And so one of the gentlemen that actually showed up in like only a couple of weeks ago for their event. Well, he was like this 80-year-old man, and he's just shows up in his suit and everything, and actually divulges that he used to be a cop, and he was actually one of the detectives assigned to the Burger Chef murders. And so he was telling my aunt firsthand all about like some of the crazy stuff that they did, and like how they caught one of the guys. And I think it's probably one of the funniest things I ever heard. That So he himself actually ended up going undercover and getting in with this group that kind of had some suspected ties to the possible Burger Chef murders. And so this was in 1979. He managed to go undercover, and he got invited to this little kind of house party. And there were a number of guys there, and they were all talking about, they were all criminals. They were all doing stuff. They were doing drugs while they were there hanging out. And he managed to, he was wearing a wire, of course. And so he's managing to try and like talk to these guys and get them to confess, some stuff. And so I don't remember the full story. I would have to talk to my aunt and get full information again. But yeah, like actually was talking to this guy and said something like, hey, they never really caught those guys. And, this dude copped to it. And he said, yeah, we went over there, and, we ended up actually, one of the guys that he was with actually was the one who pulled the trigger, and and this other guy that he was talking to killed one of the other ones in that group that, was killed during that. And so I went back to his superiors after the party and everything and reported what was going on, got the information. Of course, they managed to bring him in on another unrelated bit. And then, he was doing the usual, you got nothing on me, kind of like tough guy talk. And then this guy, that my aunt's talking about, just strolls into the interrogation room. The guy just locks eyes with him and goes, "You son of a bitch." He knew that he was found out. And so, yeah, again, they didn't have the physical evidence. And the reason that because I never understood why they didn't have the physical evidence. And so my aunt was telling me, so apparently they thought that these guys they'd been robbed and they went home. And so the next shift that was there to open up the Burger Chef, they were just told, "Oh, well, they're just missing. They're not like it's not a crime scene. So just go ahead and clean it up, and you guys can open, and do your regular shift." They didn't know that anybody was dead or that anybody had been kidnapped or anything like that. They just knew these people were missing. And so they destroyed the entire crime scene. And that's why no physical evidence was ever brought. And it was one of those weird things because, I mean, the Burger Chef murders were kind of a big deal in Indiana. So, yeah, it's kind of weird to get actually to hear those stories and information about that. So, yeah, definitely a wild tale. Dumb call there. Yes, absolutely, it was a dumb call. And I mean, of course, I want to believe nowadays. I want to believe that they would have been like, okay, something's fishy here. Let's treat this as a crime scene until we're proven otherwise.
only makes sense in that regard. But who am I to judge? I'm not a cop or anything. Why did I say that word plural? I have not drank that much. All right, so wow, I have officially been alive for an hour and 7 minutes here. Okay. And sounds like I think the wife is probably getting home here in a little bit from what I'm seeing over here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it an early night. Valhalla, thank you so much for hanging out. And, anyone else that, may not have chimed in, but, is hanging out. Thank you so much for dropping by. We're going to go ahead and call it a night here, but we're going to start trying to do this a bit more on the regular and see how things progress. But all right. Good job, bud. I'm going to have to roll too, so it works out. Hey, perfect. So, all right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I will definitely be tuning in on Vice's channel and say we're going to have to tell them all about the fun time they missed out on. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, all right. We're going to go ahead and close this out. So, any of you that are watching this in the future, hey, this is me. I'm Kaiser Pineapple, and I just like to hang out and talk about stuff. Here in the future, we're probably going to be doing some painting streams. We're going to be doing some, models and stuff like that. I've got some pretty cool stuff that I've got planned down the pipe. We're also going to just be doing just kind of chill, hang out and chat type of deals like this. And eventually I'd like to get to a point where we can do, actual talk about some other fun stuff that I do, which, as I mentioned in the earlier part of the stream, I do a lot of film and video and just have a good time. Have a good night. You too, Valhalla. So, all right, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you like what I'm saying, if you like what I'm doing, if you like this, go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, show me a little bit of love. Tell me what you think in the comments section below. And we're going to go ahead and schedule another live stream for sometime in the not too distant future. Hey, if I've got some time this weekend, we might even do it then. But keep an eye out on the channel. Keep an eye out on Twitter. You can find me at Kaiser Pineapple. That's Kaiser with a Z. And I will post all of that in the link or in the I will post all that information down there in the in the comments. So otherwise, have a good evening. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next Kaiser Pineapple stream. Have a good night. Goodbye.